Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos and welcome to Snowpoint City where the Snowpoint Frost are hosting their rivals, the Trovita Cascade. The Cascade are going to start out with Wailord and the Cantonians start with Blastoise, whereas the Snowpoint Frost are going to start out with Cryogonal and Vanilluxe. That speed advantage is going to go to the Snowpoint Frost to start off this battle. But let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today, the Trovita Cascade or the Snowpoint Frost. Cryogonal going first, as I said, the Frost have that speed advantage. It goes with a Jaw Lock to start off with. Targeting Blastoise doesn't do a great deal of damage. Neither Pokemon can run away, but you can't run away from these battles anyway. Now Vanilluxe goes with an Air Cutter. It's going to hit both Blastoise and Wailord, so continuing to chip away there at Blastoise with those two moves. Blastoise with its opportunity to respond, and it's going to go with an Extra Sensory. Hits Cryogonal with that Psychic type move. Does about as much damage as Cryogonal did to it. And then we get a Mega Punch coming from Wailord. Now that's much more impressive, taking Cryogonal straight down into the yellow. Now this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, but if we do hit that 20-minute time limit, as always, we will go into overtime if that occurs. Again, Sucker Punch now coming from Cryogonal does fail. It's always going to fail here in the Elite Challenge League due to that Metronome only. Now we get a Reflect coming from Vanilluxe. So it's going to boost the Snowpoint Frost against physical type moves. Now Blastoise has a chance to respond, and it's going to go with a Power Trip. And this time it continues to target Cryogonal. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, however. Wailord looking to follow up off that impressive Mega Punch. Goes with a Pollen Puff. This time targeting Vanilluxe. Gets a decent hit in there on the Ice Cream. Now this is the Rivalry Round. These two teams commonly share Pokemon, such as Lapras and Morin, who both happen to be on the Snowpoint Frost. That Water-Ice typing commonly mixing, which spurred that rivalry, fighting for Pokemon to be on either side. Bone Rush hits twice from Cryogonal onto Wailord. Vanilluxe has a chance to follow up and back up its teammate. And it's going to go with a Tail Whip, so just looking to lower the stats of the opposing team there. And it is successful, lowers both the defense of Wailord and Blastoise. Now Blastoise with this chance, and it's going to go with a Skitter Smack. Targeting Cryogonal still, hoping to finish it off, but gets it down into the red. Cryogonal just holds on, having its special attack lowered in the process. Wailord could finish it off here though. If it goes for a physical type move, goes for an Octazooka. Targeting Cryogonal, and it will get the job done. Cryogonal is eliminated. This is not how Snowpoint Frost want to start this battle. They've had a very poor season so far, as they send out Cloyster, who has just an amazing defense that you cannot help but talk about. It's 180 base defense, and it doesn't even have the best defense on the Snowpoint Frost. But Cloyster is one of those water ice type Pokemon that I was mentioning before. There's an Absorb from Vanilluxe to Blastoise, super effective. Vanilluxe restoring some of its health. Now Blastoise goes with a Roost, so Blastoise is just going to restore its own health, hoping to get back to 100%. So close to it as well, potentially could, and it looks like it does. Blastoise back at full strength. Cloyster now with its chance, and it goes for a Guillotine. And it's gonna connect. Amazing one-hit KO move. Cloyster takes out Wailord just like that. Unbelievable hit there by Cloyster, coming straight onto this field and making an impact as Cloyster comes out for the Trovita Cascade. So both teams have lost one Pokemon each. But unbelievable, we just saw a one-hit KO move from Cloyster. These rivalry battles, that's what they want to see. You want to see big hits. Get a low kick now, coming from Vanilluxe. Targeting Cloyster, welcoming it to the field. Blastoise has a chance to avenge Wailord. And it's going to go with a Stomp. Responding to Cloyster doesn't do a great deal of damage, however. Cloyster looking to follow up that amazing Guillotine. Goes with a Fairy Lock, however, so not going for an offensive type move. Corvitz now with its opportunity. And it's going to go with a Recycle. That is going to fail, however. Now, as I was saying, Snowpoint Frost have had a very poor season. They've actually only won one game. It was 2 weeks ago. And they lost last week, so they're back to their losing ways. They are 1-8. They are on the bottom of the ladder. They want to win today. They need to start getting some wins. They do not want to be the first ever team to get a wooden spoon in the Elite Challenge League. Cloyster now. It's going to go with a no retreat, so it's going to boost all of its stats. Now we see it performing the no retreat ceremony. There it is. Lifting its attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and its speed. Signature move. Belonging to Phalanx. Trovita now. It's going to go with a lock on. Now it's going to pick a target. Targeting Callisto, it needs to go for something strong in the next turn. If it goes for a one-hit KO move, it's surely going to hit. Now that Reflect for the Snowpoint Frost has worn off. So they're not getting that boosted physical defense. Callisto now, with the speed advantage, thanks to that no retreat, and it's going to go with a Calm Mind. So again, it's just continuing to boost its stats. And there it is, lifting up its special attack and special defense. Now Vanilluxe, that speed advantage again, back to Snowpoint Frost entirely, goes for a first impression. That move only works when a Pokemon first comes out onto the field, as Blastoise goes for a struggle. Doesn't do much damage, so Callisto probably did even more damage to itself with that recoil damage. And now Trovita goes for a Milk Drink. It's going to restore the health that it's lost. Hasn't lost too much, so maybe using that Milk Drink too early in the battle. Now Trovita Cascade is sitting 13th. They also had a very slow start to the season, but they have picked up. They were getting closer to the 8, but they've started to slip back down the ladder. This is their opportunity. They need to win. They have a 4-5 record, so they could even that out as we get a tea time coming out on the field. Everyone on the field will eat their Leopard Berry. Every Pokemon in the Elite Challenge League does hold on to a Leopard Berry. These two teams are yet to actually battle each other this season either. They will meet again in round 17. There are 18 rounds this season. So these two teams could actually change each other's finish right at the end, but they're trying to make an impact now. As Vanilluxe goes for a flatter, targeting Blastoise. So Blastoise is going to get that special attack boost, but it will be left confused. It needs to not hit itself in its confusion. And it has no moves left, so maybe it was better off, but it does hit Callisto again. And that critical hit, but it's going to do just as much damage to itself, taking itself down into the yellow. Trovita now is going to go with a Muddy Water. So this is going to hit both Vanilluxe and Callisto. Gets a very good hit onto both of them as well, considering it's not very effective. Blastoise is finally shaking off that taunt, so it'll finally be able to get back to its Metronome ways. Callisto still with that speed advantage after boosting all of its stats. Goes for a Gunk Shot, but Blastoise is able to avoid the attack. Vanilluxe is going to try to follow up, but goes for a Splash. Potentially mocking the Trovita Cascade, but it won't actually benefit the Snowpoint Frost. They need to go for some offensive moves. Blastoise still confused, but shakes it off. This time goes for a flip turn, so it's going to be going back to the bench, but first it's going to hit Vanilluxe and eliminate Vanilluxe before it goes back to that bench. So Vanilluxe is eliminated. Blastoise will disappear from the field, but it is still in this battle. As another Pokemon will come out from the Trovita Cascade, and it's going to be Gyarados, somebody who's very familiar with the move Splash. Gyarados' Intimidate is going to lower Callisto's attack stat, as Callisto has an opportunity to solely target Callisto. Instead, Callisto goes for an Autotomo, so you've got Callisto and Callisto. Going back between those two names may get almost tongue-tied. Callisto's become very nimble though. And now we have Avalugg, the Pokemon with a higher defense stat than Callisto, has 184 base defense. So very physical defensive side on the Snowpoint Frost at the moment. Trovita Cascade need to go for some special type moves, and they go with a Tailwind, so they're going to be going first, as that Tailwind will boost their speed for the coming turns. Gyarados has an opportunity to capitalize. And goes for a Wonder Room. So it doesn't go for a physical attack. Instead, everyone's just going to switch their defense and special defense stats, which could actually be beneficial if Gyarados can take advantage of its powerful attack stat to target the Snowpoint Frost. That high horsepower is avoided by Gyarados due to its flying typing, flying types being immune to ground type attacks. And we get a body slam coming from Avalugg onto Trovita. Gets a decent hit on Trovita there. Now, as always, in our description below, we have a link to our Instagram page where you can get regular ladder and fixture updates, as well as our match of the week. Ancient Power now coming from Trovita, targeting Callisto. A decent hit. Callisto still just holding on in the yellow. Was super effective, but thankfully it's boosted its stats. Heavy Slam now coming from Gyarados. Continuing to target Callisto, and that will get the job done. Callisto is eliminated from this battle. It is now a 3 Pokemon down for the Snowpoint Frost, 1 Pokemon down for the Trovita Cascade as we get a beat up from Avalugg, so it's going to hit 3 times as it hits for every Pokemon remaining on your team. So there's 3 hits on the Clawitza, taking it down into the yellow as the 5th Pokemon. The Snowpoint Frost comes out and it's Arctivish. Again, I'm going with that water-ice rivalry as we have Arctivish come out. Good representative of that, and we get a Psych Up coming from Clawitza, which will copy the stat changes of Avalugg. I don't believe there has been any yet, so it doesn't really benefit Clawitza. As we get a Volt Tackle coming from Gyarados, and it goes straight for Arctivish. It is massive hit, super effective and critical hit. Arctivish, 1 hit wonder, is out of this battle. Doesn't even get a chance to use a move as Gyarados gets some recoil damage there. But a massive hit from the Water Flying type as we get a Swift now coming from Avalugg. So it's going to hit both Gyarados and Clawitza. It doesn't do a great deal of damage, however, as the final Pokemon for the Snowpoint Frost comes out, and it's Beartic. But all the momentum is on the side of the Trovita Cascade. They still have 5 Pokemon remaining compared to the Snowpoint Frost 2. Snowpoint Frost need to get some big hits in now, as we're going to get a Seismic Toss now coming from Gyarados. Targeting Beartic. This should be another big hit. Doesn't do as much as I actually expected it to, however. Now Clawitza is going to follow up. Goes with a Fell Stinger. Also targeting Beartic as they chip away at the Ice Bear. Beartic now goes for a Water Gun on the Water-type Trovita Cascade, so this won't be very effective on Clawitza. Avalugg's going to follow up now. Now Avalugg goes for an Ice Beam. This will be beneficial if it targets Gyarados with that flying typing, but instead goes for Clawitza, who just holds on, not very effective, and that Tailwind has petered out. So Trovita Cascade may not be going first, but they still may have that speed advantage. Gyarados, the quickest Pokemon on the field at the moment, goes for a Venoshock and targets Avalugg with that. Avalugg finally taking some damage as Clawitza has the opportunity to follow up, so that speed advantage still going to the Trovita Cascade, and we get a Simple Beam coming from Clawitza, so it's not an offensive move, but it does change Avalugg's sturdy ability to Simple, which means Avalugg's stats can be doubled more than usual, and it can also be lowered twice as much as usual. Beartic there, just lowering the attack stats of Gyarados and Clawitza. Avalugg now goes for a Rock Tomb. Again targeting Clawitza, not very effective, but it will get the job done. Clawitza is eliminated by Avalugg as that Wonder Room finally wears off. And surely we're going to have Blastoise come back out onto the field to join Gyarados. Here it is, Blastoise returning. Gyarados now, still with that speed advantage over the field. This is massive for the Trovita Cascade. It's going to go with a Weather Ball. Still putting its focus there onto Beartic, finally getting it down into the yellow. Beartic having taken a number of hits already. Blastoise, with the potential to follow up, goes with a Razor Leaf. Hits both Avalugg and Beartic in the process, gets that critical hit even on Avalugg. Beartic now needs to come out with something strong. And it's going to go with the Darkest Lariat. And here we are, seeing that arm swing around, massive hit onto Gyarados there. Not quite a slingshot Lariat, but still a very impressive hit. Fury Cutter, but Blastoise avoids that attack. Gyarados now, still with that 125 base attack. Goes with a Cotton Guard though, so it doesn't go for an offensive type move. Instead, it's just looking to boost its defense stats, which will rise drastically. Blastoise now goes for a Wing Attack. Should not do massive damage. Actually, it does do a decent hit to Beartic, being taken down into the road, but Beartic is still holding on. Beartic now is going to go with a Sucker Punch, but that does fail. Avalugg now goes for an Inferno, but Blastoise avoids the attack. And as always, also in our description below, we have a link to our Google document that contains the current ladder, fixture stats, and all the team rosters, as we get a Peck coming from Gyarados. Targeting Avalugg. Very minimal damage there being done to the massive ice Pokemon. Now Recover being used by Blastoise. It's going to restore its health. This could be massive to keep Blastoise in this battle longer. Taking it way back up into the green. Beartic now. It's going to go with a dig. It needs to target Blastoise in the next turn because this move will not affect Gyarados. It shouldn't do a great deal of damage to Blastoise, but regardless, it won't do any to Gyarados as we get a Stomp coming from Avalugg. That Stomp will finally get Gyarados down into the red. Both these teams sitting 13th and 18th. Trovita Cascade 13th. Again, as I said earlier, they massively want this victory as we get a Stun Spore coming from Avalugg. Trovita Cascade on that lower tier of teams trying to fight for a spot in the 8. Blastoise now goes with a Gastro Acid, and again they target Avalugg. So they're not worrying about Beartic at the moment. As Beartic finally uses that dig, and it does go for Gyarados, so Gyarados is unaffected by that move. And we get Quiver Dance coming from Avalugg. And Avalugg raises its special attack, special defense, and its speed. But Avalugg is paralyzed, so it'll probably still be the slowest Pokemon on the field. Gyarados still hanging on in that red. Goes for a Force Palm. And this should finish Beartic off, and it does. So Beartic has been eliminated with that super effective move. So now Avalugg is the last Pokemon for the Snowpoint Frost. Giga Drain now coming from Blastoise as they have a massive potential to just chip away at Avalugg here. Taking Avalugg down into the yellow. Blastoise just continuing with its own health restoration. Avalugg needs to respond with some big hits here. Has an opportunity to take out Gyarados, but instead goes with a Trick Room. So it may actually have just made itself the fastest Pokemon on the field. As we get our 3-minute warning, we are potentially going to go into overtime. And if we do, Avalugg may be going up against 4 Pokemon all by itself. But it's better than going up against 2 at once. Avalugg goes for a Spatial Rend. And it targets Blastoise instead of going for Gyarados and finishing it off. So Gyarados is still hanging on in here. Blastoise now goes for a Flame Charge. This should be super effective. This could potentially finish it. But Avalugg takes the hit very well as Blastoise boosts its speed. Gyarados looking to follow up its teammate. And Gyarados is just going to go with a Tar Shot. So Avalugg's speed will be lowered. It is weaker to fire now, which might have been beneficial before being used before Blastoise went for that Flame Charge. Avalugg goes for a Thunder Wave. And goes for Blastoise, so this could potentially stop Blastoise from going for attacks as we get our 2-minute warning. So Avalugg's still holding on. Avalugg wants to get into that overtime. It will clear it of that paralysis. As we see another Darkest Lariat coming in this battle. This time from Blastoise. Taking Avalugg down into the red. Gyarados has the potential here to finish it off. Goes for a Muddy Water. And it is going to connect. And that will get the job done. Blastoise and Gyarados have chipped away at Avalugg and gotten the victory for the Trovita Cascade. A massive victory, only having lost 2 Pokemon in the whole battle. Unfortunately for the Snowpoint Frost, their poor season just continues as they would not like. But that Guillotine, massive move there by Cloyster. That was one of the most impressive moves of this entire match. But Snowpoint Frost still just can barely scrape through these matches. As next week, they'll be hosting the Viridian Fissure, another team who unfortunately have been having a very poor season. So that could be a Snowpoint Frost opportunity to capitalise and get their 2nd win of the season, whereas the Trovita Cascade will be very happy with this win, getting themselves closer to the 8. As next week, they will be going to Ballonly City to take on the Angels. There was that one-hit wonder from Gyarados to Arctovish. As Gyarados was such an impressive and dominant performance in this battle, taking out Beartic and taking out Avalugg as well. So very good showing there by Gyarados. But again, Trovita Cascade with an awesome victory here. Very dominant fashion over their rivals. They will meet again in round 17. But until then, as always, Nidorinos. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was best on field. And always remember, you are awesome and I will speak to you next time.